Welcome back. We're excited to have with us for this portion a very excited and a very powerful guest, Miss Claudette Betty, and she has a very powerful book, Healing from Personal Trauma, New Beginnings. How are you, Miss Betty?
I'm good. I'm good.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to our viewing audience and tell them a little bit about who you are.
Okay. My name is Claudette Betty. I was born in Waterbury, Connecticut in 1936 on Thanksgiving Day. My parents migrated from Canada to the United States and only spoke French. My 5 male siblings and I had to learn English in order to attend school. My father became an abusive alcoholic, causing us to experience several traumas throughout our lives. I decided to attend a Catholic high school and a Catholic nursing school after being molested by my teacher in the 6th grade. I loved working as a registered nurse in hospitals for 20 years. I never had the power to heal my family, but I was instrumental in healing my patients. I got married when I was 21 years old and have a daughter and son. Life was good until 15 years later when my ex-husband's behavior became verbally abusive while under the influence of alcohol. I tried to get him the help he needed, but he remained in denial of his disease.
Okay.
I learned that I only had the power to heal myself. I spent 25 years of intensive therapy to heal and make positive changes in my life. During those healing years, I became a holistic nurse, addiction counselor, Reiki master, and shaman practitioner. I divorced my husband and remarried at 62 years of age. and, to a loving, caring, and sharing man with whom I just celebrated 25 years of marriage. I wrote my first biography book entitled Creating a Wholesome Human Being in 2017 with the pen name of Monique Goulet. I shared my journey from a traumatized child to a transformed woman, revealing all my traumas and how I healed them. I worked at New Horizons of the Treasure Coast in Fort Pierce, Florida. I worked 11 years on the psych unit and four continuous years on the detox unit.
Oh wow, that's powerful. You have quite a story, quite a journey there. So
Right.
as you're navigating this journey, I heard you talk about your siblings and you talked about your father and how the atmosphere inside of the home where you were raised wasn't one that was conducive to foster a healthy, environment psychologically or physically. You spoke about being molested there. And I saw as I was reading, you said that your brothers were bullies. So unpack that for our viewing audience and tell us a little bit about that bullying experience and how that impacted you as you were navigating your journey.
Well, when I was in school, they were always in trouble. They were always bullying the people in their classes, and then they would the principal would take them aside and use the strap on them, and we all had to watch. It was humiliating for me to watch them get strapped, and they would not cry because my father said, men don't cry. So it was embarrassing, humiliating, and they also bullied me. I mean, they would. One of my brothers took a BB gun and shot at me. It had a lot of traumas. In order for me to play with them, I had to do everything that they did. So I was like a tomboy.
Yes.
So I learned to do a lot of stuff that girls don't do.
Wow. And so tell me, when it comes to your siblings and the ages, where were you? Were you in the middle or which child were you?
I was in the middle.
Wow, right in the middle. So you have older brothers and younger brothers.
Right.
You're the only girl?
I'm the only girl.
My. That must have been an experience. So now you talked about, okay, your father told your brothers that men don't cry. And then by you being humiliated because they were bullying at school and got into a lot of trouble. And then I thought something very powerful. You said that you discovered that your patients and their traumatic experiences were the same thing that you were dealing with. And you discovered that you could not treat your patients until you treated yourself. Talk to our viewing audience about that and the steps that you took to foster healing and resolve that conflict.
Well, fortunately, God has really guided me all my life. I've had bad times, but He's always, rescued me. And I decided that I'd start having counseling. Basically, it was when we went to our first experience was when counselor told my husband he was an alcoholic and I was an adult child of an alcoholic. So I didn't know anything about that. So I, for a year, I was in adult children of alcoholic group therapy. And I learned a lot about myself, about my family situation. And it's the disease of alcoholism was in my family generations. So the DNA was there. And then after my husband didn't follow through with what the counselor said, so I went for individual therapy.
Yes.
And then after individual therapy, I went to Gestalt therapy, and then from Gestalt therapy, I went to the island. Geez, I can't remember the name of the island. I went. My therapist took me to Antigua. Okay, she took me to Antigua, and in Antigua, there were like 13 prestigious counselors from all over the country there. They were they're working on themselves, and they helped me to work through the deaths of all my family members because I had traumatic deaths of all my family members. And when I was working through the emotions related to those deaths, I had panic attacks. I dissociated. I mean, I was a mess. And they would, hold me and allow me to express my emotions. I cried a lot and screamed a lot. I learned how to scream and cry real good. And it was cathartic for me. I was able to release all the debts, the grief that I had over my family members because they had traumatic deaths. I mean, my father hung himself. My brother poisoned himself. I had a brother that died from the disease of alcoholism in the street. I only had one brother that he had a drinking problem, but it was never, it didn't cause him a problem at all. And we were the heroes in the lost child, we took
My.
those roles. So I learned a lot. And then I went into working on detox units. And I learned a lot about the disease there too. And I was instrumental because of what I went through to help these clients that were addicted to heal themselves. And basically, I found that a lot of them were traumatized and didn't really understand that they were traumatized. So
Yes.
I would
Yes.
help them to identify the traumas and how it affects your life, because it does affect your life in every way. And then I kind of helped them through my experiences on how to heal from that. And that gave me a lot of inner satisfaction because it was like, wow, because of what I went through, and I believe God gave me what I went through so that I could help heal other people. I really do believe that.
Wow. So now, when you talk about the traumatic experiences, and it's so vitally important because we're talking about unhealed hurts, unmet needs, and unresolved issues, which are very traumatic based upon the experiences that you had. So did you find when you were vulnerable with your patients, with the clients, that it opened the door for you to have an easier way to communicate with them because they felt that you could relate to what they were experiencing?
Oh yeah, they they really like post traumatic stress disorder. I mean, I really helped a lot of people with that because they didn't realize they were post-traumatic. A lot of them, they were undiagnosed, but I would share with them my experiences and how if you do not resolve your traumas, you don't do the work you need to do to heal your traumas, you become post-traumatic.
Yes.
That's a lot of people don't understand that. They think post-traumatic, you got to be in the war and watch people get shot in that. No, I mean unresolved traumas move into PTSD.
Absolutely. I heard you say something. You talked about generational tendencies that existed in your family and the traumatic experiences that you had with your father committing suicide, and then just some things even with your siblings. Speak to me about how you navigated through that process and got to the place where you became healthy, emotional and psychologically.
Well, how I was able to maneuver through all this was by dissociating, and I had my counselor said that I had like Academy Award survival skills. I could
Oh
do them
my.
on my own, and I used them. Those survival skills kept me well, where I didn't become like my brothers, but while I was in therapy, my counselors told me you have to let go of those survival skills because they're not healthy for you. And I had a hard
Okay.
time because when I let go of my survival skills, I couldn't function because
Mm.
they worked for me. Now these new things you're trying to tell me to do, it was like, oh my God, it scared me. It really scared me to use my new survival skills. But I little by little, I started, practicing and now I believe I'm healthy because of it.
So so you doing the transitioning from your survival skills to the skills that your therapist were telling you about, that was traumatic in and of itself.
Right.
How long did it take you to make that transition to where you saw the new skills were benefiting you?
It took 2 years because
My,
it was frightening. Every time I would use a new skill, I got fear. I lived 2 years of fear when
the
I tried
fear
to get rid of
factor.
them. I was fearful that something was going to happen. It was like, you know, the other ones worked for me. These here, I'm not sure. I didn't trust them. That's the
The
word.
uncertainty,
I
yes.
didn't trust them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time has flown. We have about a minute and 30 seconds. Share with our viewing audience information on how they can contact you and tell them how they can get your book, and then show your book for us.
Okay. They can contact me at Claudette Betty. I got a website, and it's Claudette Betty .com, and you could get the book up on that website. That's my website,
ClaudetteBetty.com.
Betty.com.
Okay.
And my book can be bought from that website.
I know it's available on Amazon.
In Amazon. Amazon's
Yes.
the color of it. Yeah.
That is so excellent, excellent, excellent. So ClaudetteBetty.com, and also available on Amazon. I
Right.
tell you, it's so exciting. We thank you so much for being here with us. Our time is up. We thank you all for watching us. We invite you to join us again for another exciting episode of Spotlight TV. Miss Betty, thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.